Good afternoon. I guess the mic is on. Great to be here, great to be back in session for sure. Certainly glad to shift some of the attention away of 11 million Georgians away from Washington, D.C. and bring it back closer to their hometowns. I want to take a moment to thank all the folks working in and around the Capitol to execute our COVID surveillance testing program. Especially want to thank Georgia Tech for their incredible work. I had the opportunity of touring their process when they were making the first attempts at getting their students back on campus in the late summer, and was very, very impressed with it, and certainly wanted to find an opportunity to utilize the technology and the science behind it, and certainly want to thank them for their great efforts. It certainly makes us safer, and it allows us to continue to operate around the Capitol in a safe and effective and efficient format. I also want to take an opportunity here to thank so many healthcare workers around our great state of Georgia, so many folks in different formats, whether it be in nursing homes, in hospitals, in clinics all across the state, that have absolutely stood on the front lines of defense against this pandemic, both on the testing side, which we all have seen to be so important for us as we try to navigate and balance that the governor has done so well at balancing lives and livelihoods, but also on now the distribution of the vaccine and the implementation of a vaccine program. And certainly grateful for the governor's attention to this and continued willingness to make the adjustments as time goes on, as we gain more information and gain more access to the vaccines, to make sure that we're able to continue to develop a strategy to vaccinate Georgia. Was very, very impressed with the governor's budget that came out when we got to bring that forward. A couple of things I wanted to highlight out of the governor's budget is that, one, there was no further cuts, which I think is a real testament not only to their forward-looking predictions and kind of modeling, but also looking back to how we were able to navigate as a state, as I said a moment ago, balancing lives and livelihoods and allowing us to be as economically strong as the pandemic has allowed us to be, and certainly wanted to recognize that. Also, that there was no further furloughs in the budget. That certainly is something that I think allows a lot of folks to take a deep breath that are state employees. Also wanted to highlight something that is Governor has been great for us to really talk to and really set this notion of wanting Georgia to be the technology capital of the East Coast. And watching this year's budget with his very, very special attention to rural innovation and looking at an opportunity, because to become the technology capital of the East Coast, this is not just an Atlanta story, this is a Georgia story. And certainly grateful for his attention to that, and certainly the attention that we continue to garner all around the state as we move forward. To further dovetail on that, our efforts really kicked off about a year ago to become the technology capital of the East Coast. We formed a task force headed by Bud Peterson, former president of Georgia Tech, and really worked hard to identify what were the steps we needed to truly become the technology capital of the East Coast, to make sure that it was more than just a slogan or a tagline or a Chamber of Commerce one-pager, that it's actually a title that we earned. And so we worked with a very, very incredibly talented group to identify what were those steps forward, and we realized we needed to get better at attracting investment, making sure that we have K through 12 buy-in, and making sure that we have rural broadband, and just really identified a number of challenges that we could put in place. Fast forward, we launched PI2, Partnership for Inclusive Innovation, once again being chaired by Bud Peterson, and he's done an amazing job of building a public-private partnership. Once again, I want to thank Georgia Tech for their efforts on this, because they are the administrative hub of this public-private partnership. And we've been able to reach into all parts of the state, all different types of industries, to get the private portion of the group involved. And what we're doing is we're really standing up, identifying and standing up pilot programs that are actual problem solvers for problems that Georgians face, whether it be rural broadband, digital readiness, workforce development, integration of ag, other industries out there, cyber, health IT, logistics, tech, really trying to stand up and identify those pilot programs and then launching them with some seed capital. Proud to announce that we actually a few months ago had our first candidate that was able to be selected by PI2 as we move forward. Just grateful for, once again, Georgia Tech's willingness and ability to help be our administrative hub there, and President Angel Cabrera has been a great partner through that process. I'm proud to report a year into the process, I really truly believe we are gaining great momentum, not just here in the state, not just here in the region, not just here in this country, but a global recognition of Georgia truly trying to become the technology capital of the East Coast. As we move forward into legislative session, today was day 5. We're back in what looks to be about this entire week. We'll be back in. I wanted to put out here quickly just for everyone here, and most of these are not going to come as a surprise. Really the policy initiatives that we really want to see continued traction on, and most of them are going to be a familiar theme. One is foster care. I've said this often that I want, we really champion in all corners of the state that Georgia is the number one place to do business. And I certainly want it to be the number one place to be a foster kid. And to do that, there's continued improvements for us to make. One of those areas we're going to focus in on is what's called therapeutic services. Others might know that as hoteling. And for us, it's been an inefficient way that we've tried to deliver services to kids that have special needs, that need those additional services. We think we can both, one, deliver better services, but also cut the number of dollars that we're spending in the budget as we move forward. Healthcare going to continue to be an area of focus for us. Over the first 2 sessions, we have passed, and the governor has signed, I believe the number is 57 healthcare bills, and that's intentional. I believe that we can make incredible progress on healthcare, and really try to use 2 kind of key phrases as the center point of how we craft our legislation around healthcare. It's really about trying to create more access to Georgians, and to make sure that we try to find ways to make healthcare more affordable to individuals, more affordable to employers as we move forward. And so certainly we're going to continue to make a great push on healthcare policies. Around education, I think this COVID period of time has allowed us to understand that there's the ability to potentially modernize the way we deliver education. I certainly have been able to feel that in my own home with 1 kid in college now, but 2 more in public schools in Forsyth County. And so watching for opportunities to modernize the way we deliver that educational track is something that I think we're going to continue to receive lots of really solid input from educators and administrators and parents as a whole. Also, I really think this is a great opportunity to really stand behind something that we support in our office, and that's a special needs scholarship. I think in this period of time, as families have continued to try to navigate the challenges related to trying to deliver services to their special needs children, looking for opportunities for those funds to follow and allow them to kind of best put their special needs children into the best possible situation that they can. Last but not least would be, I think there's an opportunity for us to take up serious, meaningful election reform. Certainly over the last several months, we've had a vigorous debate, one that I feel like actually challenged some initial progress to election reform because of the amount of misinformation, the amount of conspiracy theories that just quite honestly were not true, unfounded, debunked in a matter of seconds at most times. But like every election cycle, I believe there's an opportunity to take some lessons learned and look for opportunities to make our elections even better. And so we're going to take the next 40 legislative days to really examine opportunities to do that as we move forward. I think there's opportunities to not even have to think outside the box, but as I said, modernize. I think some notions around a statewide grand jury allows us to remove any sort of sense of local politics out of a potential issue that's raised or a complaint that's filed. I think there's opportunities to allow us to use photo ID for absentee ballots because I think the realities are the way we vote, our voting patterns, like we've now seen in education, work environments with telecommuting and telehealth, our patterns are going to change, and so we want to make sure that we're fully prepared for that. So really excited about being back in the building with so many great senators. Obviously, we've had some new folks sworn in. We've had a great freshman class that's come in, and we're all ready to get back to work for the 11 million Georgians that we have the honor of representing. So with that, I'll open it up for a few questions. I think we're using the mic.
Mr. Lieutenant Governor, it sounded like from what you said about absentee voting that you do not support the overall